Раз. Розпочинаємо, друзі. Ми готові?
Good afternoon, dear friends. Welcome to the Ukraine Media Center. I'm sorry for the delay with the start of our briefing because our next speaker, our general, has come here from frontline to tell us about the situation at the moment about the defense of Kyiv and Kyiv province. So let us welcome Brigadier General, Head of Staff of Land Forces of Ukrainian Armed Forces, Oleksandr Hruzevich. Oleksandr, you're welcome. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm Brigadier General Hruzevich, Deputy Head of General Staff of Land Forces of Armed Forces of Ukraine. Currently, the situation in Kyiv and around Kyiv has been stable and fully controlled by Ukrainian armed forces. There is a bit of tension around Irpin. The situation there is, say, intense, but we fully control it. About the defense of Kyiv and Kyiv province, currently in Brovary and Boryspil directions, the enemy has stopped their attempts and has been moving their troops and is not ready for active action, which is supported by results of radio interception and our intelligence data. On the right bank of Dnieper, around Irpin, as I said, situation is a bit tense, but we control it, and the enemy has been trying to renew their attack and to take Irpin, but they're not successful in that. About the situation in general in Kyiv province, a huge area has been controlled in all our area of responsibilities. We have been making efforts, as I already said, to stop any firing from enemy's artillery systems and multiple launch systems against Kyiv and Kyiv outskirts. We have completely implemented those assignments. The only thing is, as I said, around Irpin and Lutish, the enemy has been firing on those towns. In the rest of the area, we have been working, and very soon you will learn about the results of those operations in the announcements by the General Staff. At the moment, I cannot announce this information as yet because, you know, as soon as you announce something, the enemy uses that information. So with all due respect for you here, we have had many cases already when we announce our plans and this information is disseminated too early and the enemy regroups their troops. And you know that in the military it's always important to take the enemy by surprise. It helps us to achieve success. So I would like to reassure you that we are doing something very successfully, and in the nearest future the results will be officially announced to you. On the rest of the matters, well, there is a small threat. You'll know that there is a threat about Belarus, whether it will join this war, this invasion or not. But precautions have been taken, and even in the very worst case, even if it happens, we are ready for that. There are troops with their respective tasks. We are ready even for the worst scenario, even for the worst developments. So that's briefly it. If you have any questions, but Please be brief, I have to move on. So, yeah, just several questions, and you're welcome.
Hi, Ronen Bergman, Yediot Achronot from Israel. Okay. Ronen Bergman, Yediot Achronot from Israel. We have heard few times about Russian attempts to close the siege over Kyiv and go for, I think, what you call the second wave, initiate the second main attack or strike on the capital. Do you still think that this is possible? Do you think that this is coming? Do you think that the Russians still have the energy, the force, and the supply to initiate such an attack? What is the threat to close the siege over Kyiv? Thank you very much.
About the enemy's plans trying to siege our capital city, enemy has such plans. Currently, the enemies say they try at any and every cost to achieve something, to get to the outskirts of Kyiv or to get Brovary, to take Brovary or Boryspil, to come even closer. That's their strategic goal. But currently, we have taken action, as commanded by Colonel General Syrsky. We have taken action to prevent it. Do they have energy? Yes, there have been some announcements that they run out of rockets and all that, but based on the intensity of their shelling, we see that that's not the case. The enemy is still firing actively, especially against military infrastructure, against our military facilities. First of all, now they have changed their tactics. They monitor our air defense of our air forces and our artillery. And I can tell you already that they're afraid of those. And in the last 2 days, due to skilled operations of our guys, we have destroyed, like for this night, during this night alone, 3 tanks, about 10 armored carriers have been destroyed, and almost 50 soldiers have been killed already. I will not tell you in which location, in which area, but they have been killed. So, of course, there may be active action, but they are lacking forces. And believe me, we get information that now they have started mobilization in Dagestan. They are bringing troops, but to get them to Kyiv, they need time. They cannot bring them by air. They still have some force, and in the nearest future they will try to use those forces. So they have their plans to take the capital city. They have it. We are ready for that and for those plans. And now I know the situation, and I can reassure you that, you know, when you want something, it does not mean you will be able to do it. Our forces and our troops are ready, and we take active action now, and they will bring to zero those chances. Zbigniew Parafianowicz from Dzień Gazeta Prawna from Poland. In your view, can Russia use nuclear or biological or chemical weapons in Ukraine? I will share my own opinion, my personal opinion. Now Russia has passed the point of no return, and now they're like a little child, a baby. They're dangerous things, and that child doesn't know what to do about those things. Use of chemical or nuclear weapons, of course, we cannot exclude it completely, but are they themselves ready for that? Because they know the use of nuclear force in Ukraine would kill Russia as a nation, in my view, because the whole world will, nobody needs nuclear war, and you understand it. We know cases when in Syria Russians would use chemical weapons, but then they would say, that's not us, we were not there. So, there is this probability, and the commanders of Ukrainian armed forces, including our forces, take actions to say resist, not to resist, but say to implement our assignments even in this situation. We cannot completely exclude this probability. We cannot completely exclude it. We cannot eliminate it, but again, we cannot guarantee that they will use it, because it all depends on, you know, we don't know, maybe even they don't know what they have on their mind, and we don't know it. To put it in simple words, sorry for saying it this way, but we don't know what they have in their mind, and they don't know it.
Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation. According what you say about the situation in the front line around Kyiv, how you see the chances of the Russian to occupy Kyiv in the next few weeks?
Maybe you misunderstood me. I said that they have their plans for that, but in the next weeks it will not happen. They don't have force to do that. They move their troops, they accumulate their troops, they bring their logistics, they try to bring new troops, but say, you know, as a strategic goal to take the capital city, they have it in their plans, but currently they have insufficient troops and forces to do it. Due to our resilient defense, due to our successful use of our capacity and our active action, currently it's almost impossible. What is city of Kyiv? Kyiv is like Hrozny in Chechnya, but in bigger scale. So you know, you understand, to get to take a capital city, you need 3 or 5 more troops around Kyiv than they have at the moment. They don't have as many troops. That's why I'm saying, and we don't stand still, you know. So in the nearest future, it's just impossible. Thank you. The last question. You're welcome.
I spent time in Lutsk and Lviv with our soldiers there, and they were very concerned that there may be an attack from the north, from Brest in Belarus, with Russian transport helicopters trying to maybe attack our western border to stop the flow of aid from NATO and from Europe. How have we prepared Ukraine for prevention of such a possible attack on Lutsk and Lviv?
About such attacks, recently the enemy has been striking with tactical rockets and air force from Belarus, and all logistics supplies are brought from there. But about whether it's possible to attack on the ground from there, we don't exclude it completely. So we have been taking some action to resist possible invasion from there. We have troops and forces there. But, you know, to stop our logistics from the west, to do that, they don't have forces for that. They can only make some rocket strikes to use their aviation. But believe me, currently, you know, it will be a bit problematic for them to do so. The probability for the enemy to strike from there, we cannot completely eliminate such probability. For that reason, we have taken action to prevent it or to minimize their active action in that area. That's what I can say at the moment, because, you know, to mention any more details, I cannot disclose any more detail now. General, a couple more questions, or you have to. Well, two questions. Could you please tell us what is the situation in Makariv at the moment? We hear statements from the government that Makariv has been liberated. At the same time, when we talk to the military, they say that it's impossible to get there. So has Makariv been liberated, or there is still combat action around Makariv? And if liberated, can we get there? As a military guy, I can get anywhere. I have just come from there. But, you know, Makariv currently is a gray area, so to say. They have not, they don't fully control it, and our troops don't like nobody fully controls at the moment, we can say, but we take actions and very soon it will be done, because via Makariv there is a key logistical route, logistical supplies route. So Makariv is, just for you to understand, you know, the enemy has been scattered, and say in Irpin they come there and then they leave it, they disappear. In Makariv they come there and they leave. In village Gurivshina they come there and they leave it. They jump in there, so to say, they make some attempts, they look for our weak links, they try to do some combat reconnaissance where they could move forward, and they cannot. So currently Makariv is, you can say that it's almost gray area, like neither ours nor theirs. Last question.
My name is Hruzevich. I come from Greece, from Open TV. I would like to ask you, according to some scenarios, Russians don't care about Kyiv, but they want to stabilize a line between Crimea, Mariupol and Donetsk. Would you like to make a comment on this scenario?
One of the strategic goals, say, if they're not interested in our capital city anymore, then we consider such an option, that they may try and make a corridor between Crimea and in the southern part and getting to the administrative and Mariupol and getting to the administrative boundaries of Luhansk and Donetsk provinces. That's another strategic goal of ours that would enable them to set some preconditions for us, some requirements. But as a result of brave action, heroic action of our military, they are unsuccessful in that. As you see, all those attempts to take Mariupol do not result in success. Partially, they have some successes somewhere. Say they have moved deep into those provinces to some extent, but then they have been stopped. And in the last 3 days, their attempts to renew a full-scale offensive action are not successful. They're stopped almost everywhere. They're pushed back. So now there is some position war. Like the enemy is not making success there as yet. So we see that soon they will bring new troops, increase their efforts, and we are ready for that. Thank you. Thank you, General. Thank you. We'll let you go. Dear journalists, thank you. Now we are developing our schedule of our briefings for tomorrow. So please watch our Telegram channel, our Twitter, our Facebook. We will keep you informed of our plans for tomorrow.